Having a plan in place before hurricane strikes can make all the difference. Francis Rodriguez from the Houston-Galveston Area Council has this year's evacuation maps and must-know resources to help you stay safe when a storm is on the way. Francis, you are a Houston native. Enough said when it comes to severe weather because you've seen things.
Absolutely.
What's one of them that comes to mind for you?
I would actually say the Rita.
Yeah.
Hurricane Rita was one that I don't think anybody that was here could ever forget.
Yeah, and really none of them. But the thing with that one was that it wasn't about the rain or flooding at that time. It was about how we would evacuate and get out. Well, we can't control Mother Nature, and we can't even control some things. But what you all are about is mitigate what you can. So planning ahead is critical.
Absolutely.
All right, the Houston-Galveston Area Council, what is it that you all do? And you work with the emergency crew and everybody else in the area to collaborate on this?
Yes. So our role, we're a regional partner. So we work with all of the counties, all of the local jurisdictions, emergency management coordinators on their evacuation planning side of things.
Yeah.
We are tasked with the development of the hurricane evacuation map. So we have two maps. One is the zip zone map, and then the other one is the evacuation routes map. And both are very critical to include in your evacuation planning.
All right, the zip zone map, okay, that easily identifies evacuation zones. So
Yes.
what should people pay attention to?
So what you'll want to do is if you live in a storm surge risk area, you'll want to look for your zip code on that map. Once you find your zip code, you can identify which zip zone you live in, which evacuation zone you live in. So you'll have the coastal zone, which is obviously along the coastline. That's going to be your Galveston folks.
Yeah,
and
usually the more critical ones that are closer, the storm surge.
Those are the most that are highest at risk.
Yeah.
Then you have zone A, zone B, and zone C, which zone Z being the most inland zone out of all of them.
And it's important to pay attention to that because going back to Rita, what happens, everybody wanted to get out at once because we saw what happened with Katrina and everybody freaked out.
Exactly.
And people did not have to do that and it clogged up the highways.
Yeah.
So pay attention to those zip zones.
Yes.
And if they say you need to leave, you
Yes.
leave. If they don't say you need to leave, then it's better to hunker down.
It's better hunker down, yes. And there's a rule that we have, which is run from the water, hide from the wind.
Yeah.
So, if you are more inland, more than likely you're going to be asked to hunker down. If you live on the coast or in one of those storm surge threat areas, you will ask to be evacuated in an orderly manner, which will allow for those that are most at risk to get out first.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Yeah. Then you have the evacuation route map. Now, a lot of people might say,
Yes.
well, I know how to get out, right? But things change around that time.
Yeah, things change. So actually this year we added Texas Highway 87 as an evacuation route that's on the Bolivar Peninsula. And we encourage folks to stay on the evacuation routes. Those routes are typically higher in elevation, meaning that there's less risk of flooding. And then also you have traffic control points, which are staffed with local PDs, Texas Department of Public Safety officials, state troopers.
Even knowing if a gas station's open, because going back to Rita, a lot of gas stations were closed,
food
right?
Places, yeah. So we really encourage folks to stay on the evacuation routes instead of using that shortcut or back
and
road.
Don't rely on GPS because again things might change. Some roads might be closed. You might have contraflow because that way all lanes may be leading out, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so you don't want to be caught in that going the wrong direction. All right. So the other thing is access to first responders. Again, if something happens along the way, help with minor car issues. If your car breaks down on the road during an evacuation, that could clog everything up. But
yes, like I said, we have traffic control points, which will allow people to have access to someone if they have a medical emergency. If your car breaks down, they might be able to provide you with that gallon or 2 gallon of gas to get you off to the next exit, to get you to a gas station. Yeah, we definitely want people to stay on the evacuation route.
You also encourage people to do their own work before a storm comes in. Prep your vehicle is a big one, obviously.
Right. Make sure you have that full tank of gas. Make sure that you've done your check on your vehicle, it's been inspected, make sure that your vehicle's ready to go. And then make sure that you have everything else that you need in your hurricane
medications,
kit.
All that type of stuff.
Yep.
All right, there are more resources that you all have online that you encourage people to look at. Again, before a storm comes in, be familiar with those things.
Absolutely. There's two that I'd like to highlight. Well, we have multiple resources online. You can visit h-gac.com/hurricane. And there you'll be able to find a hurricane prep guide. We just released the 2025 prep guide. You'll also find a supplement that is very specific to seniors and persons with disabilities, the special needs populations. That'll walk you through all the things that you should consider and keep in your hurricane kit and as you make your preparations. We have a pet checklist as well. So we have a ton of resources online that are free and easy to access, including the hurricane maps.
Yeah, this is the time of year we're particularly sensitive, but as we know in this area, you should be prepared always. You were one of the millions of people who were caught in that freeze as well. So just always have some of these things you're going to look at will apply at all times.
Yep.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Visit h-gac.com/hurricane to download zip zone maps, hurricane evacuation route maps, and tips to prepare for hurricane season.